Hello, my name is Fred Robertson, and I'm running for the New Orleans City Council, District A, in Uptown and Lakeview. And I've been a lifelong resident of Carrollton. I went to Lusher School, McMain Junior High, Franklin High School, and Tulane University, where I earned a Bachelor of Science degree in chemistry. I went to Germany during that period. It got me through the experience, and since I've been back, I've done a variety of different things. I come to you with 3 hats.
Okay.
I was in advertising briefly in 1986.
With who?
Well, I published my own advertising insert in Times-Picayune, so I thought I'd really found my niche after some adventures. But the Picayune didn't accept the thing as an insert, so that kind of put me out of business. But I became knowledgeable about it and appreciate the power of it, I guess you'd say. I was at UNO in planning school when the high-temperature superconducting developments came about in 1987,
okay.
And was invited to join a national committee on that. So I made it my business to be knowledgeable about this technology and application here in New Orleans. With the Causeway Commission, or Causeway situation out in Jefferson Parish, the traffic on Causeway Boulevard and the I-10 seemed like an opportunity to implement a high-speed system. This was in the 80s. Ever since I've been looking for leadership. And so that's basically what's brought me into politics. The need for leadership. I've come across it sporadically. Senator Landrieu, before her, John Breaux. I know there's support in the legislature, but we have problems with the executive branches. And I guess over the years, my understanding of the nature of the beast has grown to the point where I really understand the problem now. At the federal level, at no point have all levels of government lined up. It's sort of like when one-arm bandit, they have to all line up for anything to happen.
Let me ask you something. Let me jump in here because you're ready to go. I can tell you don't need me. You know what you need to say to people. But I want to make sure our people at least hear a few things.
Okay, good.
One is, particularly in this race, I've noticed more than ever before newcomers getting in. And it's exciting for the city of New Orleans. What happens? Are you at home? Is it late at night? Are you watching TV? What makes you say, you know what, I am getting in that race for District A? What gets you to that point?
That's an excellent question. One of the pivotal things that pushed me into it was the master plan. My contribution to the master plan was not incorporated in the Boston planners draft, and so I was forced to go to the public hearing. That seemed to be the only way that I was going to get this thing incorporated. And I simply said we should promote New Orleans as a ideal place for a demonstration project of new transportation technology. Well, I got short to new technology, which is meaningless. And I think that part of the problem is that the out-of-town planners had an image of what New Orleans is, and that was it. You're not going to buck that. They want to take down the I-10 overpass on Claiborne Avenue. How are you going to do that unless you have some other technology, some other system that can take up the slack? There are 100,000 cars a day that go on that roadway. So it's wishful thinking. I think we have a lot of wishful thinking in New Orleans. We have renaming of schools for black heroes instead of educating black children. We have this kind of problem. So we need to be practical about it and address the problems, and not just with good intentions.
Well, let's talk about the problems. I would like to know and tell our viewers out there, what does it mean to have Fred Robertson as councilperson District A? What are the key initiatives you're going to take on?
Okay, well, I believe the race is really about leadership, because this has been a chronic problem in New Orleans, going way back. I don't think we want a old representative back, which is it's one of my opponents, and I'm bringing new issues to the table, basically. I don't have an agenda, so that allows me to be even-handed. I mean, one of your questions was about how are you going to be fair. I know that I'm fair, and I know that I will act fairly. I can't, everybody wants guarantees that you're going to do this. They always want a penny in the corner. Are you going to be for or against this bar fight or this, that? That's not the way leadership is.
Well, let me ask you this. The City Council just passed an ordinance. 50% of contracts go into local firms and 35% contracts going to minority DBE firms. How do you feel about that?
Well, I think that seems appropriate. The problem is that these are the kind of rules that people will spend a lot of time and effort trying to circumvent. All you need is an out-of-town contractor to try to get a local agent, and then they're fulfilling the letter of the law without the spirit of the law.
Right.
I don't know, you know, the two things that I've said that I want to be when I'm on the council. I want to reach out to my colleagues so that we smooth the ruffled feathers. We give the people a functional council. We bring unity to the council so that we can tell the administration we want accountability, we want efficiency, we want government run right, we want to deliver goods. Okay, the council doesn't really. You know, the council's not giving the contracts. The council's not actually running the city. So there's a limit.
The council's primary job is to monitor the budget.
The problem with the mayor and the government, the governor, these types, they want a rubber stamp. They want the legislative branch to do just what they want to do. And I see that the unified council can actually work the other way. They can tell the mayor and the administration how they want things done. And the reason this is not happening is because the fighting in the council. And it's true that some districts have, districts have different agendas, different problems. But there's been no peacemaker on the council.
Talk to me about this. Help me understand, and our viewers understand, without endorsing a particular candidate, okay, what kind of person must we have in the mayor's seat in order for you and the council to be successful?
Well, the longer I'm looking at it, the less important I think that is, because I think they're all alike. I mean, I don't mean to be cynical about that. For example, well, I really don't want to name names, but I think that they have a confrontational streak, and they don't think of the council as an equal partner. That's the problem.
Okay.
You know, there's the executive and the legislative branch. So I think that leadership on the council is critical. I think that District A is the natural leader of the city. It's the wealthiest district. It's the most residential district. It has the two parks, City and Audubon Park. Well, maybe that doesn't count, but it does have the two universities. So maybe you want to say it's another district that is the national leader, but I don't see that. I think A is the leader, and if we don't have somebody from A who is a leader, then we're going to have problems because nobody else, there's nobody else in the ways. These are some statistics about the district that I was going to give you. You're looking at a diverse audience. So,
right.
So one of the significant statistics, the fact that 32.5% of the voters, registered voters, are black. There's 61,144 registered voters, and 19,000 of them are black. So I'm hoping to mobilize these people because I think I'm going to be good for black people. I believe in public education. I went to public schools. I went to Franklin. One of the things that Franklin did is actually skimmed all the bright kids off of the district's high school. So that actually hastened the decline of the public schools. Now maybe not significantly. But this is something if you're gonna solve the underlying problems of crime and all the other problems that we have, you're gonna really address these issues, which is what we need to do now. We can't put it off anymore. Okay.
Yeah, I think all of us agree we don't have any more time to allow it to fester.
It's been 4 years since the hurricane. What's happening? Everybody agrees we want New Orleans to become better, but a lot of people don't want it to change. It must change for it to become better because otherwise it's going to be more of the same. We do have to educate everyone. We have to make sure that at the very fundamental level we're getting it right, and then people have a choice. What they're going to do later on.
Let me ask one last final question. We got a minute left. On Facebook, Butchie Beverly writes, "What is your priority and plan for our dying infrastructure?"
Well, as I told you, I'm coming into this advocating a demonstration project of new transportation technology, which could lead to a high-speed system, a high-speed train. It requires some kind of license or franchise. So this needs to be enacted at the council level to allow for a private sector initiative. You have big landowners like Trump and Harrods downtown. They can come on board. Generally what you have is a privatization.
Do you like private-public partnerships?
Well, some sort of deal has to be worked out. There has to be leadership to do this, and at this point they are just going after federal money, and every penny you get out of Washington reflects that problem.
Yeah.
Okay? For example, after the storm, when the people that should have been helping to rebuild, clean up New Orleans were stuck in Houston with contracts from Tennessee and Texas. Okay? We need to be organized so that in this eventuality, our people are going to get the work that they deserve to do what needs to be done.
I appreciate that. Mr. Robinson, if you would please remind folks of who you are and what district you're
I'm Fred Robertson. I'm running for City Council District A, number 43 on your ballot, February 6th. Polls open at 6 a.m. Vote early because it's Mardi Gras time, and the Super Bowl is the next day. So be sure you vote.
All right, thank you.